Hey, hello and welcome back. We are working on our, we got her down now, our 69 Yenko clone. And we're pulling out this 454 block. In our earlier video, we showed you the replacement block. So, Big D and I, hey, you ready to go?
Yep.
Come on, give me some enthusiasm. So, we're gonna go ahead and chain this up. And we've got our nice little pivot. I love this thing. It's real nice. It'll adjust the angle. All right, so we had some ARP studs in here. But what you want to do, and these are too long, by the way, you want to get a nice washer, get the right depth. This is aluminum. You want to make sure this is snug. Do not torque them. Give me 4 3/8. I mean 3/4, unless, yeah, because this is gonna, wait a minute, let's see. As long as it doesn't bottom out. I think we're good. Never mind. All right, we're good there. So, we're gonna go ahead and install this. You just need to get a 1/2 inch. We'll snug these up. And the reason being is because you don't want that stainless to snap, and you don't want to strip this out. This is a big block. It's a big heavy motor, so be safe. All right, here's yours for the other side. All right, while he's doing that, we're gonna fasten these down. And then, hey, look, you know who.
Yeah, there's ashes all over.
Yeah, I know, ashes all over the damn place. So that was the previous tech that passed away. So anyways, we're gonna yank this thing out, and he's getting an all new motor. And well, he is getting a good deal. I just hope that the cam is in good condition, the lifters. So we're going to inspect all that. We've got new cam. I believe that I have to check that new block to see if we have cam bearings installed. It doesn't come with a chain, but I've got a couple of them here by we're going to see. I also have an original on there that's brand new. But we elected to get a standard and a 5 right there, the 5 under, and there's a 10, which I believe this one is, and that's the one that our former tech had put on. It's a little bit on the tight side, but anyways, in any case, I also have another one in the engine room. We're gonna check that out and see what works best with the new block. Because just in case they undercut here on the line bore, want to make sure that that is snug, not super tight. We want to make sure it's snug. You should just, this thing doesn't even move. You should just barely have a little bit of movement. If you have this thing slop out to 1/2 inch or so, even a 1/4 inch, forget it. Get rid of it. It's stretched out. Or the motor's been line bored and undercut, which is why it's loose. So always get yourself a new chain. Reason being is when this is in sync and not slopping around, it's almost like you grabbing a distributor, advance, retard, and you're never going to get that thing to run optimal. So that's going to hinder your performance. All right, so let's get that thing hooked up here. Yep. And you got these snug? Cool. Cranky. Yeah. Ladies, this is Drewski right over here. He's single, he's free. So if you want a good man, call 555-1-800-555-1212. Huh?
I'm gonna have to get the weight off the bolts to get them out.
Yes, you do. But as you bring that up, we're gonna, and once you get those motor mount bolts out, we're gonna determine if we need to re-pitch the engine. That's what's so nice about this. Oh, that'll angle your motor, re-pitch it. Did you just pinch your finger?
No, that fucking, he didn't cut the tie and I didn't see it. It stabbed me with a damn hand.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, video.
Be careful with that. Hey, I'm sorry guys, he didn't mean to say video, right? Apologize for saying video right now.
People. My bad. My bad.
All right. Will it? All right, so we got her unbolted and she's coming out. Easy, easy. This is okay, this is good. This right here is dangling. Hang on, I don't want to damage this. Okay. Lift that up just a little more. Go ahead and lift that up just a little more. I'm going to come around here and support that, actually. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good. It was not a brand new motor. It'd been machined incorrectly. They undercut, they got rid of the chamfer and the index on the crank for the rods. The rods are swimming around like over 26 thousandths. We got a replacement oil pan under warranty, one-piece gasket coming in. We're gonna start disassembling this engine. And once this is off, pal, we can go ahead and, where is she? Ah, over here. Mount it on our engine stand and disassemble what we need and inspect everything. And like I said, I need to get, there she is. Okay, so just make sure that's there. God, I forgot who this is by. I love these. It's marked front to back. You can get your lifters in here. That's one thing. This has already been fired up. You do not want to mix your lifters around. You want to make sure they maintain on the lobes to which they came from. So that's what we're going to do when we start tearing this apart, and you can get a good bird's eye picture of how used and abused. We don't even know the condition of the heads, but we're going to pull those off. I'm going to take a straight edge to check the surface. We get to, those are brand new, the spark plugs. We're going to use that. This is, I don't know, what the hell is this marked for? Anyways, we're going to take care of this. Boy, this is sloppy. We get to clean all this off, re-prep it, and reinstall it. So, and these motor mounts are brand new. I'm going to do the same. All this is brand new. This filter here, we're going to get a new one. We're not going to trust it, okay? After what's gone through this motor, God only knows what's in that filter. Let me get around you. Just going to be safe than sorry. All right, so we're going to start tearing this thing down. We'll hook up with you in a moment. All right, so we got our timing chain off. We're going to soon get the cam out. We got to pop this off. This is pretty pressed on there pretty good. We've got a tool to remove that. We are going to loosen up all the rockers, and we're going to section them in that tray over there to correspond where they go, so nothing gets mixed up or switched around. And then we can reach in with a mag and pull up the lifters. But what I'd rather do is take off the manifold so I can access each one, and again set those according to where they belong. Pull the cam out. We're going to inspect the lifters and the cam, make sure all that is good, and if that's good, then we're pretty much home free. We can go ahead and transfer all this to the new motor. Oh, look at this. There you go. This is all original grease. See that? They did a quick half-assed machining, an incorrect machining, and stuck this thing in this car, in this beautiful car. But it does have on the back here, which is monolithic, like the Novas, and there is a lot of rust damage in around the frame. So that's just the way he bought it. He wasn't aware of all this stuff. Lipstick on a pig, as we say. So that's an issue he'll have, and also one of the floorboards over here, so he'll have to deal with later. But this engine is the bigger thing. So anyways, we're going to continue with this motor swap and hope and pray that our components, our cam and lifters, are okay. All right, now we're moving along. We got our engine on our engine stand, and we're going to start breaking this thing down, starting with this intake manifold. We're going to remove this, and then we're going to start to remove the rockers, the assembly, the valve train assembly, and then get this cam out, start doing some inspection. These are stock rockers, so there's no split duration, okay? Or I mean split ratio, excuse me. So I've got 1 and 2. We'll clean these up. These are brand new. Remember they had those nylocks on here? Mm-hmm. Dumbasses. Okay. That's the way that thing came in too. All right, so our nuts can go right there. These are not dedicated. So what I'm going to do is, see that? That's our R and F, the front and rear. That's all we're doing. It's that simple. So they go right back in where they came out. The lifters are what's crucial. Don't want to mix them up. Now the push rods, I believe, are, we've got one on the intake and then one for the exhaust. And again, so 1, 2. That one's not spewing any oil. That's how they go. So they will go back in the way they came out. Somebody's been in this motor. These aren't pressed in studs, and they've got valve guides with hardened push rods. So somebody's done some head work. That's fine. That's fine. Appreciate that. 1 and 2. We're going to blow through these to make sure that we have passage of oil. Okay? I need a flat surface for this. Put that there once I get that other side. Okay, so this head will be ready to come off. I'm going to do this side over here, and then we're going to pull that cam out and see how everything is. Filed now. Next. lifter 1. Okay, lifter 2. That's number 2. This is number 1. So far, so good. Lifter 1. Lifter 2. See how that works? Hold that camera steady now. Okay. So far so good, at least on this side. Good. Wonderful. If these are good, that means our cam's good. What the? Maybe it's just me. Kind of looked like it was in upside down, but that's impossible. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Just a couple more. So far, so good, buddy. So far, so good. And we're gonna pull this cam out. Oh yeah. Now this cam's already been worked in, broken in, so it's essential that we keep the lifters against the same lobes. Otherwise, you'll damage the cam and the lobes. All right, the moment of truth. All right, and then that fell down, so she should come out. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright. There she is. Everything's working good. Let's test the cam. Alright, so set that there like that. Gently down. Alright. We're gonna have some lunch and we'll hook up with you in a bit. So luckily, thank God, and also we're gonna inspect the valves because we were hitting somewhere, and then we're gonna open up the bottom end in a minute, and I can see where it was riding on the bearing here too. Oh yeah, that's rough. That's bad. Anyways, hopefully the new one's got cam bearings, otherwise we're stuck. We want to go into reassembly today on the new block. Anyways, again, so far so good. Catch up. All right. It is Mecco Day. Comes on Wednesdays. Let's go pay him a visit. There he is. Hey, I'll catch you in a bit. So, you got my total for this week?
Yes, I do.
All right. Okay, bye. All right, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Let's see where he's at. And that's the last thing we have to check and make sure that is okay and favorable, so we can get this new motor together and get this thing up and running and get this thing back home. All right, just about wrapping up here. Obviously, we got the oil pan off, our gasket, removed the fuel pump. I mean the oil pump. We're going to clean everything up. We got our water drain plugs out. What else? We had our oil sensor connection. This right here is just part of the engine now. We'll get a fresh one. Got to remove this oil filter adapter and this sprocket, and then basically package this thing up and contact the core people, get it out of here. So that's a wrap on our 69 Camaro for today. So, I have got the existing 454 block for our 69 Camaro, and over here is our 489 stroker engine. This is by ATK, but it's got a scat rolling mass, and it's pretty nice. But it's just the bottom, the block, the whole rolling mass at the bottom. No cam, no dampener, hell, not even a keyway. So anyway, oh yeah, it does right there. So here's the deal. We talked to the customer. When we open this up, we're going to show you what we're dealing with. And this was our concern. This is why we bought that. But now the customer wants us to take this back. Come in here. See these pistons? See that dish right there? Look at over here, the center ones. Then we're back to a dish. Same thing on the other side. It's like somebody mixed and matched. I've never seen anything like that. Not sure if these are even bored out. I don't know. I don't care. Somebody took this from a junkyard, okay, literally, and when they machined it, they botched it. Now, we had a tech that took off who recently passed away, but he took off thinking the grass was greener on the other side, and he was gone for about, 7-8 months. Anyways, he came back, and unfortunately, he had passed away. I think I did a video on that, or I'm doing one. Anyways, don't use methadone. If you're in pain, consult a doctor, get something else. Anyways, so these are falling off. We're gonna set this over here. So let me explain, okay? This one especially. We open this up, they're mixed and matched. They're not even stamped. Somebody's been through here. This is not factory, so we know that. And this block, based on the number here on the back of the skirt, will tell you when and where it was manufactured. Figured this thing was somewhere, it's from a truck, might be 71, 72. So that's another thing. 65, 66 on big blocks, they didn't Y back here for the oiling. So it made it a little more impossible to oil. So what they did is they put a groove in the back of the cam. There's no groove here. That doesn't mean this block probably isn't, couldn't be those years, but it's not because of the fact that we are getting oil up to the top. So they changed out the journals is what they did. So, got our cam socket here. We're gonna bring this up. And this is what I want to show you. Now, the first tech screwed up on the oil pan. He slopped RTD sealant all over the place. You don't do that. You just put a dab on the inside and the outer of all four corners. That's it. You run it dry everywhere else. You just make sure this is wiped clean of all grease. Now, when Bill had changed this, because it was leaking oil all over the place, he had fixed that, and that's fine. But then we started getting a slight knock noise, and that's because you can see here, this thing has two sets of 0. There's one there, one here. You want to go by that center one, and that's straight up. The cam is by comp, and the cam already has, I guess I'm being popular right now. Oh geez, pause that for a sec. All right, sorry about the phone call. So here's what we're looking at. Now the first tech, the reason why, and this is for the customer too, you know, we hear this a lot. Hey, my vehicle was running when it came in. Okay, well no it wasn't. His vehicle wasn't running, and the flatbed guy had to pull it up with his winch as a dead stick. That means a non-running vehicle due to this piece right here. This hooks on the GM column. This is the selector switch. This is his ignition switch. So this was faulty. We changed it out, but when, let's say, Tech A, the original one, who screwed up the oil seal, caused Tech B to open this up and redo it, that's when we discovered this. And for you engine builders, you know exactly what I'm pointing out. See that? Look at that. It's 26 thousandths, 25 to 26 thousandths of side-to-side rod gap. And the reason being is because, and by the way, these weren't stamped. They were Michigan 77, which is a division by Clevite. They cut out the chamfer, the index. So here's your journal. In here, there's a slight little chamfer. They got rid of that. They also undercutted it. That's why these things slop around. So we already bought new bearings, but at that point, we let the customer know, hey, look, it's not worth it. The bottom end's gonna go. You're gonna spin a bearing ultimately, and it's a big block, so you got a lot of rotating mass. But again, he replied, it was running before. Well, here's the thing. This car's been with us for almost a year or so, and it might have been running at one time. It just wasn't running enough to the point where it was going to go boom. Now we know, because we've opened this up. We see it. We know what we're looking at. This is what we do for a living. So, you know, when a customer tells you it was running before, a lot of times they don't understand the essence of how a motor is put together properly. So, and that's just it. It doesn't matter it was running. It was just a matter of time. And I asked him, by the way, how long was this car? Because by the way, it wasn't running when we got it. Oh, yeah, I remember, but it was running before that. How long have you had it prior to coming in the shop? He's had it for about a month or so. So he never had a time to enjoy the car, and given the fact this thing had gone out. Don't you just hate solicitations? Anyways, so we found out about this. So before we button this up, we're gonna roll it back over, put the heads back on, we'll clean this up, but prior to putting on the gasket, we're gonna make sure that these are factory torqued, or torqued per factory. Put the oil pump back in there after cleaning it up. And we'll probably throw another little touch of paint. I mean, what's the point? But, you know, if he thinks his baby is all that, that's fine. You know, you can't argue with the customer. You can talk to him till you're blue in the face. But if they don't get it, in this case, he doesn't have the money, that's fine. But that is the reason as to why we opted to buy this other block here. But now it's got to go back, and it's going to be picked up this week. So we cleaned all the pistons, we wiped all the cylinder walls, sprayed a little bit of WD down that wall. I took a red Scotch-Brite and just kind of went over around by hand. You really can't hand home this because pistons are in the way. Anyways, what's the purpose? So this block only has so much life before it's done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our cam in. And again, our 0 point, if you look right down here, there's two different stampings. Let's get this around here. Oh, by the way, just a couple shop tech tips. Get yourself the right tool, and then you'll use your harmonic balancer insert remover tool to put that on. You don't want to really be smacking on that. And then we've got our crank socket. And in case some of you were wondering what this is, if you're unsure, get one. Now this is, God, I forgot the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, it's an assembly tray. It's marked F for front, R for rear. When we're putting this back together, these lifters need to go right back in on the against the right correct lobes as it came out. Do not mix them up. So we're going to take our driven assembly lube, put some on the gear. Get a couple of lobes started. We'll put a little bit on the lifters as well. All right, I think we're good there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot, it's not a Ford. Just kind of get a feel. Do not jam this in there. Take your assembly lube and basically reassemble. I mean, re-grease all the lobes. This has already been broken in, but that initial start, we don't want it dry. All right. The customer is going to get his original engine back. You know, the other issue that I guess I should explain, you know, he has spent a lot of money, but then again, we've done a lot. You know, he was upset at first when he heard it, and I get it, but you got to be the bearer of bad news, because if you never said anything, and you know what? I'm actually thankful that the first tech screwed up on that oil pan gasket. Otherwise, we would have never known about the bottom end. And then when it blew out eventually, because it is, then it would possibly would have been blamed on us. And despite the 90 grand or so that he's got into the car. But here's the thing. I understand he's put a lot of money in the car. You know what? I've spent a lot of money on my mortgage. Does that mean I own my house yet? No, I still own on it. Don't pay your mortgage. You're going to see between the county and the bank who really truly owns your house. Don't try that. Or the grocery store. Spent thousands upon thousands of dollars over the years on groceries. Does that mean I'm entitled to more groceries for free? So, yeah, when people make those types of comments, you know, they're human. I get it. They're just bothered and upset. I really didn't need to hear that. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. The truth hurts it sometimes, but the truth in the end will prevail. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that cam is. Gear is still holding up. Now there's no cam lock on this. You don't need one. I'm going to take this. I'm only using this just to rapidly spin on and off my bolts. Okay, so we're going to turn this till we get to 0. And there's 0. I want you to take a look at that. Come in here. See that right there? That's a 0 mark. You see that? That's another 0 mark right above the keyway. That's where you want to be at 12 o'clock straight up. And then on the timing gear, you need to be at 6 o'clock. And we got to reposition the piston, the cam. There we go. And then that cam pin needs to come around. And there she is. The other thing is, make sure, now this has to get up on the lip and it'll pull up. And when you do that, you want to make sure, we're going to get a little bit of Loctite on here. You want to make sure that this is snug and tight, not super tight. But if this is loose, like the old one, it would go in like twice that. It had so much slop. That's no different than you grabbing your distributor, advance, retard, And as that thing's bumbling around, you're never going to maximize optimum performance in your timing. It's just not going to happen. So let me get these on here and I'll pull these back out. Again, I'm not using this for torque. Okay, there we go. See that? See? Just a little bit of tug. That's fine. But not to the point where it's going to pull hard on your bearing and ruin it. Huh? Get there. Where'd you go? This is why you don't want to torque on these things. You could cross thread. There we go. All right. So, tell you what, why don't you go have a cool one or something? Take a small break. I'm going to go grab some Loctite. When I come back, we're going to go ahead and continue with our assembly. Don't you go away. Got the surface, the valves, the chambers cleaned and scrubbed. And right now Dakota is cleaning the threads. They put a lot of RTV sealant on this before. All right, so here's how you properly install them. Some of these are going to go into the water jacket, okay, or the coolant. So you want to make sure they're sealed. GM does make a product, Permagasket. That's this stuff here. Or if you prefer, a lot of people commonly have Teflon. So in order to set these up, you just put a little bit on the threads. Sometimes I'll kind of goop that up. And then I'll come in here and I'll roll them together. Just want to make sure you have a fair amount all the way around. Okay. Work that in the threads. Now once that's done, before you put these in, stand those up, you take a little bit of assembly lube, just a little dab here at the flange, and drop them in. ARP lube is fine. Okay. Now I'm again going to use this to drive them in. That's about it. Not going to torque them down. We're going to do this in a sequence of 3 sequence. There. Okay. And then it looks like, if you look real closely here, it's like somebody grinded down the valves. Look at that. Yeah. And it's sharp. I mean, razor sharp. So these weren't filed, they were hammered. Look at this. This motor is junk. Okay, I know some of you out there going, why, dude, what? Just call them up, tell them to get a flatbed, can't get up. I agree with you. But that's what he wanted, you know, and I'll never do this again. Ever. Ever. So, again, if he's listening, this is it. So he's going to get his wish. Plus, I've got a flat rate price today to make sure this is reassembled correctly. Don't want to hear about it. Well, this was running before. No. Came in, he needed a tune-up. But when he came in, it wasn't running because of that switch I mentioned. So, anyways, gonna go ahead and finish up with this, and then we'll start getting to torquing, and then we'll start probably like I'd say about 30 pounds or so, 35. Why not? Basically, the torque sequence, you'll start in the center, then you'll come over, and then you'll come down, and then you come over, and then you'll come down, and you come over here, and you hit this side, and you come down, then you hit this side, go down, and you work your way out. That's basically a torque sequence. Or, well, as far as where you start. All right, we got a couple more bolts here. Those are the lowers. We can get to these in a minute. I guess we'll all start now. An offhand factory, I believe, is about 70 foot-pounds. Don't quote me on that. I will look that up just to make sure. All right. One more. One more. You're going to want to go ahead and set these heads as soon as you put this stuff on. You only have to fill them up. Now you do these in sequence, and also there is a, as I mentioned, there is a sequence as far as where you work your way center, work your way out, and at the same time you need to end up coming to your final torque. You don't want to just start with, just go all the way to your final torque. So if your final torque's 70, you don't set your gauge to 70. Your torque range to 70. Just don't do that. Think about this thing having to come down straight as a level plane. Okay, so that's done. So then we'll come in here. That's simple. Open the gate. Watch out, sometimes this thing will snap at you. All right, 150. It starts at 50. That's fine. Tell you what we're going to do. Feel that getting snug. We're just going to do it like this. And then I'll go all the way with the 50. And when you've been doing this a while, you'll know. All right, so let's go to my final. Well, not my final, but my first phase, which is 50. Put your foot down, grab here, here. Hear that? Click. That's set. Come over here, click, 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 click. And then I basically go all the way around. Like I said, I'm not doing a final. Oops, that one did. Click. All right. Do our outsides. I think we got here. Hit, click.
Just double check. So that's our first phase. Then it'll probably go to 60, 65 pounds. But we're going to look this up and find out where we need to be. So we'll grab another cold one or a sandwich. I'll be right back. Alright. Google!
So our final is going to be 65 on the shorties and 75s on the longs. And again, these are stock cylinder head bolts. If you use ARP, go by what ARP says, and you're always going to have required to use the lube. Now again, if you're going into a water jacket, which you will be, you need to use some Teflon because ARP lube is not going to seal the threads. So, there's our 65, number 1. This will be our final over here. Come over here. Socket doesn't want to work. Double check. Yep. Come up here. Alright. Everything's good. Just got to finish this one. Alright. Now the inner bolts, the long ones, are 75. So now we're at 75. Okay. And that's it. And that's it. Now our head's installed, at least our driver's side.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and flip this around, repeat the same process on the passenger other head, and we are doing our final 75. We've already got 65 on our lowers, and there's this other row here in the middle. Okay, so those are our longs. So the very center on the inside, that's number 1. Then you come down, come over here so they can see. There's number 2. Okay, then you come back up here, number 3, and then you come straight down. Oh, that's down here. We've already done that. So now we can go number 4, jump up number 9, 4 to 9. It's just that I am bypassing the lowers because we're already down there. Again, just the longs are 75. These lowers are 65. That's the first one. Let's double check that. That's good. 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 Come in here. Oop. Come down here. And that's it. We're done. And my good buddy over here, my good friend, noticed something here. This is loose. So we'll get some Loctite on here and set this down. This is a 7/16. Probably gonna go 50 pounds or so on this. Where's my Loctite? With the Loctite. Again, whoever put this motor together basically didn't know what they were doing. They just threw it together. Now, again, we Teflon the threads. We cleaned up everything, blew out, chased the threads on the block, and we put a little bit of this Ultra Slick by Permatech. And let's see here. That's what we put under the flange of the head. Okay, that was supposed to be the same. That's larger. Let me go, I'll be right back. Let me get a Another socket here. Oh, never mind. I got one right here. These are my 12 pointers. That's good. Drive this in, and we're going to double check everything. We're going to be safe and sorry because we don't know anything about this engine other than the fact that it is questionable. Extremely questionable. Okay, so we're at 75. 55. Make sure they're all wow, that's loose. Now, factory would have been pressed in. These are valve guides, so somebody has put them in. Loose there too. All of them are loose. Shit. Here's the thing, if you don't go through a motor like this stuff's gonna fall apart. I can barely get my socket in there. Look at that. Shouldn't be using that as a hammer. Alright, that's done. Now I'm going to check the other side. Just a little tight on the top upper ones. That's not bad. Not bad. These are slightly loose. Okay. So now wow. All right, now we've got our valve train assembled, so we are moving along. Thank God. Anyways, if some of you, if you've ever been in this situation, you know. All right, so here's the deal. Earlier we installed the cam gear, and I want to talk about that. I know this might be confusing to some people. All right. This has a comp cam. It's a flat tappet cam, but regardless, it's a comp cam. It's got 4 degrees advance built into the cam. So you want to go straight up. This is a 9 keyway. So you look for the 0 down there. You see that right there? That's your standard straight up. And then you want to clock this right here where that dot is. That's actually the dot. It's not embossed like up here. That's at 12 o'clock. Your cam gear is at 6 o'clock. And make sure your chain's oiled up. And when it's installed, it should be just like this. Now, yeah, that's how you set your timing chain. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll this over, make sure everything's smooth, we don't have any obstructions. And if you want, some of you can go into degreeing the cam to optimize your power, but again, this is just a junkyard motor, unfortunately. Now this one here, in fact, what we were talking about earlier, let me get into a little more detail on this. This would have been nice. This is a 49 stroker. She's got a set of dome pistons. This whole rotating mass is from Scat. It's a nice setup. Fortunately, this guy is going to be picked up, go back to Summit Racing, and shipped back. We got to box her up. So now we've got our, try not to use a bolt, and especially if you go back, you're going to pull the bolt back out. Look up by Comp Cams, and I believe the socket is by Mylodon. So we're going to turn this over. Okay, I've got all the spark plugs out. So far, you hear that? Nothing. And it's smooth. It's turning all the way around. Okay? Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look for base circle. Hey, base circle. Come on in here. Okay. The base circle is the back of the cam. So as this comes up, okay, see that's going down? Now there's a process on certain cams where you can have, let's say, 3, 5, or 6 or whatever set up, and you can set all those rockers and then move accordingly and set the others. I'm going to do one by one. So we're at base circle. That's the back of the lobe. See how sloppy that is? We're going to come in. These are pumped up. And this is how we're going to set these. And this is the preset. We're going to wait until we get rid of the slop. There's the slop. Okay? Right until you start to touch. There it is right there. And then we're going to go roughly about a quarter turn, and that's it. We're going to do that to each and every one, and those are preset. Then when it's running on the car, we can double check it again, but that's how you're going to set your rockers. As far as these nuts, they're still kind of loose. I don't care about them. I'm probably going to take some green penetrating Loctite, and I am going to let that sink in the threads and hopefully lock that down. Well, it's getting close to closing time. I've got a few more moments. I'm going to go ahead and set all these, and we'll see you in a bit. Hey, welcome back. It's another day, another dollar, as I always say. We're on our continuing 454 build, or I don't know, 468, whatever this thing is, bored out to. I imagine it's about 30 over. Again, nothing stamped. These pistons, didn't we show them that? About the pistons? It was just a hodgepodge of stuff all over the place. Just, you can see a dish on the 2 outers on each side, and with that dish, that just lowers your compression compared to the other ones. So we got our chain oiled. We're going to double check the torque on the mains and the rods. We're going to go through them all, and then we're going to put in the filter adapter, and then we're going to clean this surface here real good and put on the timing chain cover, and then we're going to reassemble and install the oil pan with the replacement gasket. There is one little modification we have to do because of the powder coating. The nice little billet, where is that sucker? I think it's back over there. Let me grab it. We have a billet. Where did she go? Where'd we go? Where'd she go? It's around here somewhere. Oh, it might be up in the front office when I took it apart and separated it. Anyways, it's a billet dipstick, and the issue we're having, I gather, because of the powder coating. Oh, here she is. So you can see here how slightly rough that is. That's because trying to fit that in to the new pan with that powder coating. So we'll clean this up, polish this. We got to remove these O-rings and then replace them after it's polished, and then ream that out and get that thing to go in. Probably put a little bit of RTV sealant. Oh, speaking of which, whoever this guy was who built this engine, who monstered it, the Frankenstein the darn thing, had used RTV sealant on the threads. As you noticed yesterday, what we used was Teflon. There's another product, in fact, this is it right here. The brush fell off, that's why we didn't use it. But it's this Aviation by Permatex, and it's an 8019, and it's kind of similar to the GM stuff, okay? And this is also a sealant for the threads. And again, as you go into the water jackets, you want to make sure those threads are sealed so you don't have any leakage. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and got a little piece of paint right here. We're going to go ahead and re-torque these, or just check them. Come here. Oh, you're a difficult one, aren't you? Yep. All right, and again, the issue that this thing has is somebody cut out the chamfer, okay? And look at this. See these? These are about 25 to 26 thousandths. It's just too much. It should be closer to about 10, maybe 7 to 10, depending on your application, your engine builder, and also your piston manufacturer, your rolling mass manufacturer. They will tell you all this detail. You do what they tell you to, period. So we're going to get all my sockets as required. And where's that? We had that. Oh, here it is. Okay. So that should be that one, and it's not. We'll have to get a bigger one. But we do need these down here. There we go. I believe these are around 50. I'm gonna look them up real quick. That's the beauty of having everything online or Google. There's so much over the years. Unless you're an engine builder and you do this all the time, great, then you'll retain memory. So main, rod, and rod, torque, X, all right, here's Summit Racing. Yep, I was right, because these are 3/8 bolts. They're 50 pounds, okay? And then on the 7/16, these are 70 pounds on your mains. Well, no, that's for the rods. So let's go rod main. All right, get up. Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. All right, some of these aftermarket 7/16 are 70. These are stock bolts are 50 pounds. Now, if it's an aftermarket 7/16, it's 70 pounds. The mains are 110. So we're gonna get set up for that and double check. So. Is that also? Nope. That's fine. We got one right here. All right, and this starts at 50. Ow. God, I did it. When this thing snaps back, man, it'll take your thumb off. All right, we'll start up in front. Grab it and just pull. That's good. Good. Wonderful. So far, so good. I know I got that one down there, but look like Billy Bob got these. There is no problem. All right, so leave that there. Come around. There we go. A little tight. All good. All right. I'm gonna run over yonder, and I'm gonna go ahead and get. Geez, what is that? 7/8.
Alright, we got this shorty here.
Up, 13/16. All right. 110. And these are already set. I don't need to work in sequence. All right. You know what? Probably should share this for those that don't understand. There's a dial indicator. This is just a safety. And again, be careful, because that sucker will take your thumb off. See the 100 mark? All the little dots after. All right, for those of you that don't know how to use a torque wrench, you've got your dial right here. Watch this safety here. It'll take your thumb off, like I said. See the 100 mark? Each of those little notches represents 5 pounds. Okay? So when setting this, we're going to go for 110. You're going to go 100, and you're going to keep going toward, you know, which in this case I'm turning clockwise till we get to that 110 mark, and there she is. All right, now we're going to start again. Awesome. Rocking me here. Barely moving. Oh. They're all good. So we're done with that. So we've already checked our bottom end. Now we can go ahead. Let's go ahead and put that guy in back in. Give it a little bit of Loctite. Well, stay put. Just a little dab. You don't need a lot. All right. There's no direction on this. That is what's known as the windage tray, the release. It's spring loaded. Sometimes people in performance will plug that off or just buy an aftermarket. I think CVR is one of them. And what that does is that forces everything through the filter. And in that case, you're going to want to make sure that you have the larger holes for the performance filter. Otherwise, you're going to create too much back pressure and cause some damage. Okay. These things just slightly hand tighten. You don't need to torque them. Yeah, 150 pounds. Was it 275? No. All right, that's good. That's installed. Get these things all mixed up. All right. Well, everything has been checked out. Everything's good. We've got this guy here to get rid of. We're going to actually exchange. This thing was chopped up. Somebody used a vise or something for that. Okay. Hey. This is the oil sending unit, and he's got a Dakota digital gauge. So we're going to get an adapter, and that guy is right here. Oh, and that looks like an 1/8. Okay, so we're going to get a 1/8 and have that come in, I think. Hey, Andy, yonder. They remember, Bill had used a 90. Is it because it comes in contact with the headers?
Yep.
The wire?
Yep.
So you have to have it go straight back?
Yep.
Gotcha. So that's what that was. Actually, this one's so-so, but we'll get him a fresh one. Clean that up. Alright, so always wipe your surfaces. If you like this stuff here, it's by what? Burke Bile. 2+2 instant gum cutter. This stuff eats. This is what ate through that carbon buildup. Just be patient, let it build up, do its thing, and it'll knock that stuff right off. In any case, want to make sure everything is cleaned. There we go. All right. Well, you don't need to watch me lube the gasket and put this on, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Why don't you go grab some breakfast or whatnot, or I don't know, lunch, dinner, depends on what time you're watching this, and we'll be right back.